During the Ming Dynasty, the military governor was extremely fond of his wife. After his wife passed away, the emperor often comforted him. Subsequently, he was absent for several days. When the emperor inquired about his whereabouts, people replied that he had just married a new wife. The emperor said angrily, "This fellow is so callous towards the relationship between husband and wife. Can he still serve me loyally?" Consequently, he was punished with flogging and alienated by the emperor. The governor's behavior clashed with the impression the emperor had of him previously, causing the emperor to change his opinion of him. This teaches us that in life, we should always keep our words and deeds consistent. What we say should match what we actually do. If our words and deeds often contradict each other, others will doubt our credibility. The emperor's negative assessment of the governor due to his behavior indicates that an individual's behavior and manners have a significant impact on their personal image. One should always pay attention to whether their behavior conforms to social moral norms and public order and good customs. By engaging in positive behavior, a good personal image can be shaped, thereby winning the respect and recognition of others and facilitating smoother social interactions. The emperor discerned the governor's attitude towards feelings from his behavior and then questioned his loyalty to the monarch. When leading and managing a team, leaders should be adept at observing the subtle manifestations of their subordinates in daily life and various events to gain an in-depth understanding of their inner qualities, such as their characters and values. Only in this way can they accurately judge whether their subordinates are trustworthy and capable of undertaking important tasks. The emperor promptly punished the governor upon discovering his problems. This demonstrates that in the leadership and management process, the principle of being fair and just in rewards and punishments must be adhered to. Subordinates who conform to the team's values and perform excellently should be rewarded to encourage them to continue their efforts, whereas those who violate moral norms and engage in improper behaviors should be punished in a timely manner to maintain the good order of the team and the correct behavioral guidance, ensuring the healthy and orderly development of the team. In the Song dynasty, a general was ordered by the emperor to select soldiers. His orders were too harsh, and the soldiers were extremely frightened and wanted to stage a rebellion. The emperor summoned his ministers to discuss. The prime minister said, "If we blame him, then how will other generals command soldiers in the future? If we immediately arrest those who are plotting rebellion, it will shock the whole city and may trigger unrest. The emperor has repeatedly wanted to promote him to be the marshal. Now we can take this opportunity to promote him and at the same time remove his military power." Naturally, the soldiers in his original troops who wanted to stage a rebellion will be at ease. When facing the crisis of possible rebellion by soldiers, we cannot simply take punitive measures. In this story, if we directly blame the general, it will affect the authority of other generals in commanding soldiers. If we directly arrest those who are plotting rebellion, it will cause unrest. When dealing with a crisis, we need to consider the chain reaction of events and balance the relationship between fair law enforcement and maintaining stability. The prime minister's strategy is to grasp the key to the problem. That is, the soldiers' rebellion is due to the general's harshness and his control of military power. By promoting the general and removing his military power, the hidden danger of soldiers' rebellion is fundamentally resolved. Taking the opportunity of promoting the general to be the marshal and depriving him of his military power is a clever means of power balance. This approach not only gives the general certain honor and status, avoiding the possible resistance he may have due to being punished, but also cleverly resolves the threat that his power may bring. We should always place maintaining overall stability in an important position and not ignore the stability of the overall situation due to momentary impulse or one-sided consideration. In the Ming Dynasty, there was a general who broke the law and deserved to be arrested and executed. When the court officials were discussing this matter, they all felt it was extremely difficult to handle. Because there were 10,000 soldiers in his mansion, it was not easy to arrest him. There was a fear that his soldiers might rebel during the arrest. The prime minister first promoted his son and then quickly sent people to arrest him at his home. The soldiers in his home, unaware of the situation, dared not take any action. After he was captured, the Prime Minister requested a pardon for his death penalty but placed him under house arrest. Everyone thought this matter was handled extremely well. On the one hand, the Prime Minister's promotion of his son was an act of showing kindness, making his family feel that they were not being completely wiped out and that the court still took care of them, to some extent appeasing the possible resistance they might have. On the other hand, he resolutely sent envoys to arrest him, demonstrating the majesty of the law and the court's determination to handle this matter. It was a combination of kindness and severity, understanding that although his family had great power, the key was to stabilize the attitudes of the soldiers under his command and his family. By reusing his son, the possible opposition from the family level was stabilized. As for the soldiers, since their leader was dealt with by the court in a relatively peaceful, due to the prior promotion of his son, yet resolute way, the soldiers dared not easily take any confrontational actions either. By grasping these key factors in the problem, the difficult situation was resolved. In the Tang dynasty, a marshal had served as the commander of the imperial army for a long time. His power was astonishing. The emperor wanted to send someone to replace him but was afraid that he would rebel. So he asked the prime minister. The prime minister said, "This matter is not worth worrying about." One day, the prime minister invited the commander to come to the palace. They chatted in a room for 3 hours. During this time, the emperor reappointed a commander who peacefully took over the army. The emperor's desire to replace the commander with excessive power reflects the highest ruler's need for power balance. A person who has served as the commander of the imperial army for a long time may accumulate too much power and pose a threat to the imperial power. The prime minister's invitation to the commander to come to the palace for a chat is a typical case of luring the tiger out of the mountain. Removing the commander from the military environment where he is familiar and has absolute control makes him temporarily lose direct command over the army. This strategy effectively cuts off the immediate connection between the commander and the army and creates a time window for the emperor to reappoint a commander to take over the army. The whole process did not cause rebellion or large-scale military turmoil and achieved a peaceful transition of military command. Through this series of means, the emperor regained control of military command, which is an important measure to maintain his own ruling position politically. In the feudal dynasty's political system, the emperor must ensure that power is concentrated in his own hands and must balance and control any forces that may threaten imperial power.
More detail, more story, follow me, please.